Yeah.
Pwede kasing diretso to sa Facebook if you want it.
Ah,
Or sa YouTube. Wait, I'll change my name.
yung may video ba ako?
Meron. Kita.
Ah,
Ayan, nawala na. Siyan bumalik.
okay, ayun. Okay. So, welcome to our little adventure.
Oo nga. How long have you been doing this podcast?
Kailan ba? I've been doing the podcast since audio podcast mga late last year, early this year lang.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. Then yung YouTube this year.
With video. Dati, may video din pero you don't upload the video.
Okay. I see.
Hey, I'll make you a co-host para you can control this.
Okay.
Co-host there.
So, I'm right. Yung YouTube channel mo, nakita ko eh.
Data ethics. You see it. Dami, di ba?
Dami.
Natigil yon when my dad died noong May 2021.
2020.
Pero from December 2020 to May 2021, every week I was doing a show.
Okay.
What I would do, I would record it and then announce it the week. Parang I think I had a 3-week lead time. So, kunyari nag-uusap tayo ngayon, meron na akong 3 episode na nakapila na. So yung talk natin would appear 1 month from now. Ganun yung anticipation. That was very...
I'm just learning yung the ropes ito, lalo yung sa publishing ng nagtataka ako kung paano sila nagkakaroon ng intro and outro.
What do you use Do you have video editing software?
Video editing. So I use yung meron akong nagamit pero but video should be 10 minutes or less. Yun lang. Para magamit ko yung feature ng libre.
Yung free. I can help you with a video editor. It's a no-name video editor. I can send you. Kasi ang mga uso Adobe Premiere yan.
Adobe. Pero I got something from my daughter yung
Filmora.
I'm studying it pero I think I can manage that na. So Doc, anong topic natin? First off.
Up to you. What do you want to talk about? Daming ganap.
Sandman. So honestly Doc, yung Sandman, when it first came out in the comics, hindi ko nasundan yun.
When did you first encounter it? 90s?
I got single issue something.
Kasi 80s siya lumabas late 80s.
I just pick it up from one time or another. Then I like yung what issue is that when they were dreaming of Wildcat something.
Tama. Ito ba yung yung he's in the desert and he's a cat god. Tama.
Tapos meron pa the kindly ones na
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That was the last chapter na before.
That was the last chapter. And a single issue of Dollhouse. Something. Plus the one with
ang gusto ko yung World's End. Have you seen
World's
that?
End, yes.
Kasi it's like an anthology of stories and each story has some relationship with yung turmoil na nangyayari ng time na yon, diba? Kasi World's End happens before Kindly Ones, diba? Nagkakagulo na yung universe. Kasi nga pinatay niya yung anak niya, di ba? Si Orpheus. That caused all of the problems. You're not supposed to kill, you're not supposed to spill family blood. Di ba yun yung issue nila? And ang nag-engineer nun, si Desire. Remember? Kasi galit na galit si Desire. Kaya,
Neil Gaiman's really good. I mean, like, yung when they translated the Sandman to Netflix.
The series, yeah, it's pretty faithful. Pretty
Good,
faithful.
diba? It's really good.
Actually, of my favorite parang mga fictional authors, Neil Gaiman and Stephen King are close. Kasi si Stephen King, marami rin.
Stephen King.
Actually, ang mga gusto kong Stephen King na libro, yung mga anthologies yung
anthology.
Yung maraming stories, no? Yung Skeleton Crew, yung Night Shift, Nightmares and Dreamscapes.
I followed yung kay Stephen King's TV for yung The Outsider. I mean,
yes. Oo. Ang dami nun. The Outsider, The Langoliers, The Dead Zone. Dami mga... Saka yung actually yung mga non-horror stories niya were pretty good. Like yung Shawshank Redemption. That was a Stephen King story.
Okay. I didn't watch Shawshank.
You should
for some
watch
reason.
It's amazing. Morgan Freeman.
I made kasi dati na I should watch comic book movies lang.
Comic book lang.
So
I'm sure you've seen Watchmen.
Watchmen, yes. I read Watchmen and I had a few issues lang din.
Of the original.
But I borrowed one from yung trade from someone sa barkada namin.
Galing ni Alan Moore, pero he's counterculture siya . Galit siya sa commercialization of work.
He's okay siya. I mean, like, he was revolutionary talaga. During those years, lalo yung 80s. 80s siya. I mean, like, he had Swamp Thing sa DC.
Swamp Thing, yeah.
Watchmen, The Killing Joke.
Killing Joke. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Batman Zero ba yun? Or Batman Year One? Or something like that?
Batman Year One is Frank Miller.
Frank Miller pala yun.
Frank Miller, yeah.
Si 300. Tsaka si
yung niya, yung
Sin City.
The one with the American line, Prometheus. Prometheus ba yan? Tsaka Terra Obscura. All those public domain heroes na.
Isa pang series na gusto ko yung Kingdom Come by who's that artist?
Mark Waid. Tsaka si Alex Ross.
Alex Ross, yes. Yung mga paintings, no? Galing.
It's airbrush. He uses airbrush. Plus
and he has actual models, di ba?
Yes.
Copies from. Yeah.
I have 2 copies of
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come trade. Libre from my best friend sa States.
Wow. Yeah, tsaka I didn't get to read yung Marvels. Yun yung Marvel version naman ng Kingdom Come.
No, I didn't get to read yung Marvels ni Alex Ross.
Yeah. For me, that was, tsaka even the story was amazing. May pagka-Watchmen din yung dating di ba? Parang tapos na yung era of mga
yung
superheroes.
Era kasi na yun was sort of renaissance kasi they were coming from the dark age. Yung grim and gritty na genre ng comics with The Dark Knight Returns plus yung Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tsaka yung Punisher. Those were the comics that was really selling well.
Yeah. Tapos sila naman yung parang very epic, ideal.
Kingdom Come reintroduces yung epicness ng stories.
Ang ganda pa rin ng kwento. In a way, it's a dark story, pero the art is very bright.
Yes. Meron siyang parang, hanggang ngayon, up to now, they're debating yung hope sa comics. Like, is Superman the symbol of hope?
The use of hope, no? Another era sa comics that was definitive for me was Chris Claremont on X-Men. That was fantastic.
Yes, X-Men. The uncanny X-Men.
Kasi
he was the sole writer for How many
Tsaka ang
ways?
dami niyang inintroduce na subplots like the Dark
Yeah, yung
Phoenix
ideas na
saga,
grabe. Hindi na
the
ubos.
days the days of future past. That was fantastic. I remember pa I
Days
was
of
follow
Future Past.
I was following the New Mutants nung time na yun. And there was an episode where they went to the future where mutants run everything
Oh,
and humans were parang mga ano na lang
parang mga
subterranean dwellers.
slaves.
Oo. Kasi yun yung baliktaran, 'di ba? Yung Days of Future
Oh,
Past naman, the
yeah,
humans
yeah.
win and then the mutants are all in concentration
Yes.
camps.
Baliktaran yung
Sa New Mutants, baliktad. Yung mga mutants ang nanalo and they're like there, no. And then there's another one, yung Age of Apocalypse. I love that one. Age
yeah,
of
I have that. Yung, actually, yung, di ba may book and so on, Alpha and Omega.
Oo.
Yung
Yun,
like,
it's similar to yung Chris Claremont run.
before,
Pero dito, dystopian. Yeah.
before that storyline, there was this, 4 issues, where Legion killed Professor X.
Savior, oo.
And,
Zero. That was the Zero that
yun
created
yung,
the Age of Apocalypse.
change ng timeline.
Oh, tapos I love yung emergence of the X-Force, the X-Factor. Yun yung mga sub-teams. May X-Force, may X-Factor, may
Yeah.
Excalibur.
Original concept ng X Factor was, they disguised themselves as human mutant hunters. Pero ito was, they were the original X-Men.
Oo, sila pa yun. No? Tama.
Yeah.
Galing nung kwento na yun. Panalo yun. Tsaka, of all of the characters, of course, I love all of the X-Men. Pero I'm particularly obsessed with Cable and Bishop.
Cable.
Si Bishop.
Masyadong ano yun. Ayun.
Mga, mga
Big guns,
hyper-powered mutants, di ba? Pero sila yung time traveling, di ba?
Yung ano, how he was drawn by his creator, si
Oo.
Rob Liefeld.
Kasi Rob Liefeld joined sina Jim Lee and formed Image, di ba?
Ayos. Yung ano bang Supreme. Yes.
Supreme, Wildcats,
Youngblood.
Spawn, Youngblood, di ba? Ang panalo yun. Grabe yun. There was an Image run though that I love, pero hindi siya mainstream. The Max. Si
The Max. Di ba may cartoons na?
Sam Keith. Yeah, did you watch that? Yung sa MTV dati?
MTV.
I have bootleg clips of that eh. Literally very faithful to the comic yung ginawa nilang animation.
Si ano yun, Sam Keith.
Sam Keith, who was also part of Sandman. Did you know that?
Sandman, yes.
The first run, Sandman, Sam Keith. Grabe. We can talk about comics all day, man.
Yeah. Parang.
Pero mas ahead ka sa akin dyan, mas ano kaya tayo, mas...
Ang sad kasi nitong huli, yung, the woke comics. Like,
oh man, yeah. What's happening?
What's happening? Like, there's a gay Justice League out there. Gay Superman, gay Robin.
Yeah, if it's
Woman,
not gender
gay
bending,
Aquaman.
it's race swapping. Yun nangyayari.
Okay lang sa akin ang race swapping kasi like John Stewart was Green Lantern from the 70s pa.
Yeah.
Kasi naman, John Stewart is part of the core, Green Lantern core. Kaya it's okay. Then some other heroes, hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit.
Para pinilit lang ano.
Yeah.
Actually, I was kind of syempre this could be contentious. I'm kind of weirded out by how Captain Marvel turned out in the MCU.
Yung si Carol Danvers.
Kasi parang hindi yan yung pagkakaalala ko kay Captain Marvel back in the day.
She was originally backup character sa Captain Marvel. Yung lalaki, the guy Captain Marvel. The Kree warrior. Then yung ginawa sa sine, yung ginawa sa movie was
at saka wait, di ba si Rogue was able to absorb,
yes. Yung when she was Miss Marvel. Rogue absorbed the Kree strength, Kree flight. Ewan kung bakit. Paano. I mean, like, hindi naman natural kay, it was not natural for Carol to have those powers.
Oo.
She had those powers when the same happened to her when yung power bands ni Captain Marvel was flowed to her body.
Oo.
Parang ganun. 70s eh.
Kasi nabasa ko yung, I had that comic, or my brother had the comic, where binalikan ni Carol Danvers si
Si Rogue.
Rogue.
Yes.
I forgot her name.
I think
Hindi na yata Miss Marvel yung pangalan niya doon eh. Ano na siya eh. Kasama na siya doon sa Starjammers. She was one of the...
Ano siya, what's her name? Starbolt? Something.
Oo. Parang yung, alala ko yung scene, biglang hindi na pansin ni Rogue. Dumating si Danvers, sinapak siya eh. Labas siya doon sa X-Mansion. And then, all of the X-Men were surprised. Who the hell was that? Kaya pala, si ano na.
Ang
Whoever
ganda
that
ng
was.
concept ng X-Men. Too bad the MCU will have their hands on the team sometime in the future.
Oo. Teka lang, hanapin ko yung nangyari kay Danvers. Binary! Siya na si Binary.
Si Binary, yes.
Oo. Na super lakas din. Super overpowered.
Overpowerful.
Oo, di ba?
I mean, like, ewan ko. That's Marvel pa. I mean, like, I'm more of a DC person. Super Friends, Justice League, Teen Titans. And yung ginaya ng X-Men, yung Legion of Superheroes. They have
Yeah.
the version. What's his name?
Galactus?
Ha?
Galactus? Hindi.
No. Yung team with that Superman amalgam analog,
na nasa Marvel?
Gladiator, tsaka yung king niya. Ano yun eh, Legion of Superhero talaga lahat yun.
Yeah.
Diba, they were the Imperial Guard ng Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Grabe yun. I was very much a Marvel freak at that time.
Talaga.
Yung DC.
I
Actually,
balance it out kasi.
natuwa ako sa DC actually what got me back to DC was Sandman and
Sandman.
And Kingdom Come. That's where I came back. Not Batman pa nga eh. Batman came much later.
I like before I really liked Batman. But parang everyone
kasi
likes
ups and downs din si Batman eh, di ba? May magandang Batman, may hindi eh, di ba?
Pero lahat ng whenever the comic industry goes on its upstream, si Batman yun dahilan.
Oo. Ang natatawa lang ako sa Batman movies naman, they can't stop killing his parents. Palaging have an origin story. All of the Batman.
They all return to that point of origin.
Oo.
Kasi trauma niya yun.
Yeah.
That's his trauma.
Sabi nga, give him a break naman. Parang his parents keep dying.
Grant Morrison wrote Batman as this overbearing guardian figure sa Justice JLA time niya. Kaya si Batman dun was the Uberbat.
The Grant Morrison, di ba siya rin si New X-Men?
See?
He wrote New X-Men, di ba?
New X-Men, yes. E for Extinction. Yeah.
That was before House of M. Remember House of M?
After E for Extinction, wala na akong alam.
Hindi mo na alam.
Honestly, sa X-Men. Sa Marvel.
House of M, and then yung si No More Mutants, si
No More
Scarlet
Mutants,
Witch.
si Scarlet Witch somehow eradicated the mutants to a few.
Grabe yung time na yun. I was collecting the trade paperbacks and then yun yung naondoy kami.
It's expensive.
Boss, pare. All my Sandman, my X-Men collection up to that point. Lahat. Sabi ko,
I completed the JLA run ni Grant Morrison. Yung
really?
kanya lang hanggang yung simula issue 1. Pero nakaano ako eh. So naka-trade paperback lahat yun. So issue 1 hanggang dun sa last issue niya. Plus yung sumunod na hanggang what story ba yun ba? Yung Obsidian Age ni
Hmm.
Joe Kelly.
Doon sa
Aquaman
new
was turned into a water.
doon sa new X-Men, although I know it happened before then, I kind of like the idea na si White Queen and si Cyclops got together and they got children, di ba?
I like that idea.
Oo.
So,
Kasi ang gulo-gulo ni
kanina
ano
ng
eh.
option si Scott.
Si Jean Grey kasi two-timer eh. May Wolverine na siya, may Cyclops pa
Meron
siya.
siyang I don't know, natuloy ba yun? Dati kasi unrecruited yun.
Then may mga runs na natuloy. Tapos of course you had the Madeline Pryor subplot pa na.
Madeline Pryor was
Oo.
from the Claremont days. Yun yung
Oo.
the time when everyone thought she died as Dark
Oo.
Phoenix. Then they invented Madeline.
Yeah.
Siya yung
Kaya
nanay ni Cable.
nung naging Emma Frost Cyclops, parang sabi ko it makes sense kasi
Yes.
Emma Frost was also a telepath, di ba?
Yes.
Actually, I think she next to Jean Grey and si Professor X, si Emma Frost na yung next powerful telepath
Yes.
yata.
Siya na yung pinaka parang omega level
Oo.
mutant.
Grabe, no?
Dati villain siya. Hellfire Club.
Yeah, yung Hellfire Club, no?
Uh,
Panalo rin yun.
Inner Circle siya doon. The White Queen.
Oo nga eh. Kasama niya si Sebastian.
Sama niya si
Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw as the Black King.
Oo.
Yung White King was always in flux kung sino man.
Kung sino yung White Queen. White King, ano?
Yung White King kasi si Magneto naging White King. Tapos yung Black Queen naman, in flux din yun. Si Celine, yung kilala ko. Which was, they played with her during the 90s. Hindi na siya ganun ka-powerful.
Tama.
Di ba lumabas yung Upstarts? Yung
Di ba naging Black Queen din si si Madeline Pryor, si Jean Grey later
si Jean
on.
Grey naging Black Queen, si Madeline Pryor, parang tama. Hindi ko maalala. Alam ko si Madeline Pryor was the Goblin Queen. Inferno. Tama ba?
And then si Mastermind was
Si
also
Mastermind,
part of Hellfire.
White King yata yun.
Naging White King din.
Tapos inano niya sinuduce niya si Jean. Kaya nag-manifest yung Phoenix Force.
Kaya nga, ang galing talaga eh.
I mean, I read yung mga back issues na yan. Digital na eh. Lalo nung, yung lockdown. The pandemic really, ang dami ko rin natapos sa series ng pandemic. Yung Watchmen na TV series. Yung meron akong yung Lovecraft Country.
Were you ever into HP Lovecraft?
Yung mga monsters?
Yung mga Chtulu, ganyan?
Chtulu Legend. Nakita, in lang, kasi kagaya nung, what movie was that? Underwater? Yung kay, what's her face? Twilight.
Oo. Tama.
Kado pala yun. Grabe,
Chtulu pala yun, ano? Actually, I got into Chtulu. Well, I was an RPG player before. We had a Call of Cthulhu game. Pero yung sa akin, Xerox copy. May yung uso ng dati, photocopy lang. You don't have the original book.
Nag-aano ako parang dip here, a dip that. Dito.
Tapos, then there was this video game called Alone in the Dark. I don't know if you remember that.
What did you?
Alone in the Dark. It's one of the first 3D horror survival horror games. Parang you walk into a house.
I never got into yung video game talaga. Like,
pero that was based on the Cthulhu.
Resident Evil, grabe.
This is before Resident Evil. This is before Silent Hill, no? I think it was the predecessor of all of the survival horror games. Kasi,
Okay.
kasi you walk into the house. Ano pa siya, polygonal graphics pa nga eh. Pero grabe, it's full of literature when you read
Di
it.
ba nung time natin, the video was 16-bit? Diba?
Naabutan natin yung kinakabit sa TV. Yung mga computer.
Nilalagay sa TV like yung ping pong.
Yung may RF modulator para you can connect it
Para mag-switch.
dun sa antenna. Then you have to switch it to channel
Ay,
3 or channel 5 ata or
yung
something.
first video game na binili ko was Sega.
Wow, social ka na.
I wasn't into Nintendo then.
Sega
Yung
Genesis.
Sega was what? May asawa na yata ako. Mortal
Sega,
Kombat.
Genesis. Ito yung mataba yung controller. Mataba yung...
Oo.
Yeah, we had the Sega Genesis before. Of course, we had the family computer. We had
Then I played yung,
the
syempre,
we,
nakikilaro sa Nintendo.
oh, grabe yun, no?
Legend.
Actually, that's I think what makes kind of the Gen X unique eh. Kasi yung mga baby boomers, talagang hindi na nila na-appreciate yung video games.
Hindi na.
Yung mga
At
millennials
least
naman,
Gen X was,
transition
isip
period.
pa natin yun eh. Gen X tayo.
We saw the period before and after
Yes.
video.
Kaya nga
Before,
we see how wrong is it now? Di ba? Ang dami
yeah,
na,
eh.
wow. Culture
Kaya,
shock.
culture shock. At saka wala, uto-uto yung mga bata sa internet. Yun ang napansin ko. Parang, if they read it on
They
Wikipedia,
dwell so much on stuff like that.
yeah.
Yung oras nila nauubos doon.
Oh.
Merong mad story na yung anak nung the son of our friend, office mate was nagkaroon ng depression. Like,
Why?
they just played and played. He watched play.
Ng video games.
Video games. Hindi na
Oh.
yun. That's addiction na yun.
Yeah.
Yung sa comics, parang addiction na yun. If you think about it. Weird.
Yeah, I like comics kasi it captures the spirit of that era very well. The style of the art, the themes. Like yung Sandman, ang dami niya mga references that only people who lived through the 80s would
Yung
know.
reference sa Sandman, naalala ko yung mga some historical references like yung PayPal, yung Pope during those times. Yung, I don't know, what year was that? Yung fairies, what's the name? Yung kapatid ng Princess Nuada? Fairy. The fairy.
The guy,
The guy.
yung
He got caught, tapos
Prince of Fairy ba yun? Tama.
Kinulong siya sa, what's this? Dun sa, actually, church yun. Kinulong siya doon with iron. What?
Si Clora Khan.
Yes.
Oh, tama.
And that was good. Yung single issue na yun is, I told you, okay na siya.
Tama. Yeah, I like Sandman kasi it blends mythology and real world.
Then they did sa series sa TV was gender bend the modern Constantine.
Hindi Johanna Constantine. She was a character.
Yeah, ano yan eh, parang Neil Gaiman creation talaga yun. Parang she was one of John Constantine's
ancestors. Oh.
Yes. Kasi si John Constantine was created by Alan Moore.
Alan Moore, yeah. Actually, I followed Hellblazer then for a while. Hinahunting niya
I read something na
mga demons.
na-turn off ako sa Hellblazer. Kasi puro demon siya.
Oo, tama.
And
pero yung feel niya hindi ganun kaswabe. For me, mas swabe pa rin yung Sandman. Parang
sa comics, this is in the comics.
Sa comics.
Yes.
The Hellblazer, the Constantine movie was not bad. Yung kay Keanu Reeves. I like that. Pero the comics, parang iffy ako. Tapos, naalala mo yung series na yung there was a series of movies about angels going to Earth. Pangalan nun yun.
Angels?
Oo, parang
What
si Gabriel yung kalaban.
Legion?
Legion ba yun?
Yung with, who's this? The guy who played
Christopher Walken.
Vision
Hindi.
sa Avengers. Who's that? Yun ba?
Si the guy who played the bad guy sa sa Da Vinci Code, yung nag-ano.
The one who played Gabriel was
Paul
sino?
Bettany.
Siya yung si Michael yata to, what?
Oo.
Yeah, siya yun. Yun yung horror yun, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a horror film. I like yung nun. I like yung design nun. Yung appearance ng angels. Like, if they
Yeah, I was always fascinated by the parang yung mythology ng angels. Like
if
like
they
there were other angels na hindi masyadong popular in mainstream Catholicism. Kilala lang natin si Michael, si Gabriel, and Raphael.
ano yun
Marami pa pala if you go into the
archangels kasi.
yung mga archangels, marami pa pala. Samael is another one and several others.
Then I learned yung through siguro through the internet was the true name of Lucifer was Samael.
Oo.
Kasi angel nga siya.
Yeah, he was the greatest of the angels, di ba?
Kaya kailangan may L. Kasi
L, oo. Kasi L is God, di ba? In Hebrew. Grabe.
Yeah.
Yun, actually, kasama dun sa naundoy, and ina-argue nga ng mom ko, kaya kami naundoy. I had a growing collection of Christian mysticism tsaka occult books. So I had a copy. I had a copy of the Kabbalah. I had reprints of the Key of Solomon. Yung ano talaga, hardcore occult books, yung mga libro ni Aleister Crowley.
Kaya mo gumawa ng golem.
Wala naman eh. I was trying to read some of it. Sabi ko, si ano nga eh, there's this ano yan? Ang pangalan ng, I can Google it. Parang Introduction to Hermetics ata yung title. Initiation into Hermetics by Franz Bardon. I had a copy of that thing.
Whoa.
It basically teaches you how to become a sorcerer. May mga levels. And it didn't work.
I heard si Alan Moore was into
Hermetics.
Magic.
Okay.
Yun ang nabasa ko somewhere. Kaya pala.
Parang, anyway. Dami rin mga mysticism. I even had many versions of the tarot cards. Because I love tarot cards. Sabi ko, we should use this to play Pusoy Dos. Mga ganun. Kasi may mga painting siya eh. Hindi lang yung typical card deck eh. Pero, kaya nung naundoy kami, alala ko pinagsabihan ko ng
nawala na yun lahat, no? Naundoy ko
na. Naundoy. Ikaw kasi, dami mo mga occult sa bahay. Tuloy yan. Na dedo tayo tuloy. Sabi ko, wala namang kinalaman yun doon. No? Na dedo rin pati yung mga libro ko eh. Sabi ko.
Prove something lang yun, man. All those stuff doesn't really
doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. When all is said and done, that's all BS. It's up to you.
That's all of it, everything.
Yeah, it's all up to you and your integrity as a person and whether you create value in the world or not. Yan yung mga
So, sa akin naman, what else? Dito so what's happening here in the Philippines, some mga major issues ng mga tao, it's been like this since parang
since the election.
Since I joined social media.
Yep.
Like una, reproductive health, up to ngayon yung menstrual.
Where do you sit in that spectrum? Syempre, we want to be sensitive to the plight of women. For some of them.
But if you are going to write a law, any law, it should be for the benefit of all. Everyone should benefit. Kaya yung specific law na ginagawa nila parang weird.
Ako
Weird.
naman, syempre, everyone, like there's a PWD law that obviously applies to
Yes,
PWDs.
PWD law.
There's also laws about children, syempre that's specific to children. And then there's laws about women. So the menstrual thing. I feel lang na we need to be consistent sana na, okay, if you're going to be creating special cases for special groups,
Yes, yes.
then forget about equality for me.
Yes, yes, tama.
Parang,
It's not really equality per se, no?
kumbaga tapos na yung argument. Talagang walang equality kasi
Walang
kailangan mo
equality.
nga ng special laws eh. I mean, that's my view. Parang, it's weird to argue equality on one side, like equal, wages and blah,
Di
blah,
ba
blah.
the reason why we had party list was to have representation yung mga hindi nare-represent.
Oh, pero on the flip side, if you're gonna create special laws, then hindi na equal yun. Parang, but again, nowadays it's really hard to comment because yun nga.
Ano na eh, parang, ano siya, parang no extraordinary anything. Hindi na siya ganun, wala na siyang, yung di ba?
Then,
Wala.
at saka we're in the grips ngayon of yung pinag-uusapan nga natin with Kevin, we're in the grips of postmodernism na and
Ano pa yan eh,
neo-Marxism.
I read about postmodernism since early 2000s.
Mhm.
Yun. Kasi the church was honestly parang being ready for that during those times. So 20 years after, eto na tayo. Gender wars. Gender politics.
Pero ang problem ngayon, I think it's a problem,
Yes,
is we're getting into a point where everything is,
unethical.
bukod doon, it's all relative na. Kumbaga, you
Tama,
can
relativism.
decide what gender you want. Doesn't matter if you were born male or female. So it's very fluid. If it's so fluid, syempre, reality naman is fluid, pero there are lines you should draw at
Sometimes
fundamentals.
I think about parang, are we in the Matrix or what?
Oh, di ba? And kung everything na lang is fluid,
O kaya sa dreaming. Nasa dreaming tayo.
then what do you stand for? Like there was that clip nga, di ba, of a trans woman who was pinagagalitan niya yung isang store owner who called her or him sir. And sabi niya, it's ma'am. Sabi niya, call me ma'am. Pero pucha, lalaking na siya, call me ma'am or I'll kick your ass.
So angry. So angry.
So sabi ko, paano na yun? Pag ganun. Tapos the whole Olympic thing na if trans women will be competing with women and winning the Olympics, didn't we just co-opt women by invading their space, no? Parang ganun na nangyayari. So, I don't know. Parang the whole biker thing, that's another thing. Parang the angry biker trend, parang the demonization of automobiles.
Reminded of that biker, like, it's so toxic, ano?
Apparently, and the person shall not be named, nakausap ko rin yung mga ibang mga bikers din, the biker groups.
The biker community.
They don't like that person either, the toxic person. They try to avoid that person. So,
it all boils down to behavior and
tsaka if you want to have an advocacy, the last thing you want to do is alienate people from it. Pero yung argument naman ng mga angry bikers is we have a right to be enraged. May ganun sila. And for me, that goes back to classical Marxism na parang yung idea na, we're the workers, we have a right to be enraged because the capitalists are screwing us.
Speaking of that, naalala mo sa may Marikina? di ba may ano doon, yung statue ng worker, di ba?
Oo,
Ay, socialist na sila. Marxist na yung symbolic ng mga taga-Marikina.
yung mga manggagawa. Okay,
Oh,
mga blind
yes,
na
ang mga
manggagawa.
manggagawa.
Actually, that's a fair, it's a fair fight, no? Pero I remember the classic problem in Marxism is how do you treat management?
Yes.
And they're
So,
not
yeah.
naman the owners, but they hold power over the workers. Yun yung magulo.
Ganyan yata, ano, like, the French Revolution started that way.
Oo.
And they got rid of all these aristocrat daw.
Aha.
But eventually, they returned. They came back with a vengeance.
Oo. And then this problem of misclassification, it's happening then even in like these mundane debates about transport. Parang you're committing the opposite issue naman na you're demonizing car owners who are also working class.
Yes, that's true. Kasi
They're just working just like you and
it seems that people can't really distinguish working class, middle class,
uh
pa yung upper echelon ng
yeah, like parang just because I drive a car doesn't mean I'm a
yes.
Land Cruiser douchebag that just runs everyone over.
Speaking of those stuff,
Oh,
I mean, like I had a run-in with
with the
these
Land
big
Cruiser.
cars. I mean, like, you have, you know, diba, I have my electric bike,
Uh-huh.
and he was on the wrong lane, and I was there, so I stood up.
Oh, tapos, you stood on your bike. Okay.
Yeah, you let go. Hindi ako gumagalaw kasi I'm on the I'm on the right lane. So, umano lang ako doon kasi he's big and ano siya eh, hindi siya umaalis. Weird.
Yeah, that's my problem. Parang this whole misclass kasi nga you wanna paint everything as a class war, 'di ba?
Yes, class war. That's
Between the
classic Marxism nga. Kasi
Marxism
class
talaga.
war yan.
Have and have nots, nakakotse versus nakabike. And then yun nga, the same way you misclassify working class drivers, you also make the mistake of assuming bikers actually represent the working class, which actually doesn't
Oo nga.
necessarily.
I mean, like, how much is one bike of
Oo,
their class?
parang you guys don't represent
Yeah,
commuters. You're
they
you're
don't
brats.
represent talaga.
Well, not all of them. Some of them are. Kaya it's hard to take any of this stuff seriously if you ask me. Parang,
Speaking of transport, I mean, like, di ba, they are phasing out the jeepney.
ah,
So, where does that leave the commuters?
wala na. Sira na yung MRT. The buses are
I
all a
mean, how
mess.
much is a Grab?
Tatanggalin mo pa yung mga ano. Yung pa, isa pa yun. The Grab are public transport, but they're
Yes.
cars. What are you gonna do? You're gonna get rid of
Tapos,
them?
ano yun, yung prices niya, grabe.
Oh,
I mean, like, you need to have 1,000
to
for
commute,
one day
to get anything.
just to get by. Diba?
Tapos
Plus
ang mga ina-advocate nila is raise parking prices.
yung,
That's not gonna work.
wala
Parang gas prices lang yan. Gas prices could go up to infinity and it's still going to,
ano.
people are still going to drive. Ang problema, wala tayong public transport. And yun na nga, may nagsabi nga na unpopular opinion na um, bike lanes actually cause traffic. Siyempre, inupakan siya. Pero for me, adding bike lanes does not solve public transport.
Remember what they did with EDSA when they switch off the bus stops from the side to the middle. Parang, paano na yung matatanda?
Uh, uh,
Diba? What the heck? Ay,
so
nako.
yeah, that's really amazing. Kaya nga, I don't know where it's gonna go or where is the turnaround. Kasi nga, ay itong ironic, as society becomes more Marxist and leftist, regimes naman become more fascist and
Yeah.
conservative. No?
Oh, diba? I mean, like, society is Marxist, tapos yung fascist na.
Mm.
Yun.
So
Para tayo
parang
sa
mangyayari, talagang polarized, no?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to choose between Hitler or Stalin.
You have to pick eh. You have to pick a side. Where
Uh,
do you stand, di ba?
yep.
Yun talaga yun. Eventually.
Napanood mo na ba yung ano, How to be a Tyrant sa Netflix?
Yes, I had Netflix.
It's amazing, you know. Basically yung playbook ng
Oo, di ba?
mga
Teenager
tyrants pare-pareho,
tyrant.
'di ba? Eliminate your
Teenager.
opposition, manage the truth. Ano pa yung mga ibang nandun? Live forever, yung
Yes.
fashion yourself as a god, create a new society. Grabe, sabi ko, this is ano,
This
classic.
is happening, di ba?
Uh,
This is happening. Tapos ang ano doon, parang people accept that. Diba? Hindi na ano, there's no critical thinking about anything.
Yep.
Which is probably the result of a democratic society.
Actually, that's kasi 'di ba, criticize ako ni Kevin about the need to regulate social media. Sabi niya, free speech is absolute. Pero left on its own, social media is not very good at managing free speech. It's actually lopsided, algorithmic, mess. So I find it really hard to reconcile the two na parang, yes, I don't want government censorship, but no, I don't want social media running, awry, no?
I think our friend is experiencing yung ganun na yun.
Oo. Hindi, yun na nga, nakakatawa sa kanya, free speech is absolute, tapos siya mismo naka-shadow ban sa Twitter. So sabi ko, ano nangyari sa free speech mo? Di ba? Parang,
Good thing I'm not shadow banned anymore.
oo nga eh. Hindi mo na kasi inaaway si James Gunn.
Naaway ko si James Gunn. He's surprisingly silent
Oo nga eh.
today.
Ano ba mangyayari? Dahil ba kay Zack Snyder yan?
Because magkakaroon ng SnyderCon sa
Oo. April, di ba?
end of April.
Oo.
It will 3 days yun eh. It will
Hmm.
feature his 3 DC movies.
Aha.
Man of Steel, Convention,
So i-replay, kaya yun
Man
yung
of
3 days.
Steel, Batman vs. Superman. Tapos, it will feature the first time Justice League, yung Zack Snyder cut, will be shown on IMAX.
Yeah.
Which is a first. And I'm hearing na the reason for this was siguro yung push ng head honchos ng Warner Bros. Film Division, si Mike
To
DeLuca.
ano ba yung ano ba yung gagawin nila? They're gonna sell Snyder Cut to Netflix?
The difference kasi yung Justice League na lumabas ng 2017 was a butchered one with ang daming rewritten. It was really, really re-edited, rewritten. Parang yung Superman 2 ni Richard Lester all those years ago. Butchered din yun. Ganun yun. Pero mas grabe nito kasi they blamed Zack Snyder for everything that has gone wrong with the DC movies that came out after Aquaman. Everything. Wala naman siya na din. He's at Netflix, di ba? Which is weird. Minsan kasi clout lang yan. Ng mga
Clout lang talaga. It's all clout.
It's all clout. No. Maybe they're scared kasi if they let Snyder do his thing, kasi auteur yun. Parang si Christopher Nolan yun. So, walang ano yan, the studio hindi dapat pakialaman siya. Di ba? Kasi hindi mangyayari yung gusto niya. Tsaka magbabanggaan lang sila. And the reason why they had the chance to butcher his film was yung suicide ng adopted daughter niya.
Tama.
Yes. Which is sad. It's a sad thing.
Ano nga ba yung nangyari dun sa daughter? Ni Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder? Dawn of the Dead? What?
Hindi, yung daughter niya. Di ba namatay yata yung daughter?
Hindi ko kasi dati, I was not interested in those things. Dati,
Okay.
before,
Okay.
kasi hindi ko alam. I just knew that she committed suicide for some reason.
Shit, you're right. Tama. But
Uh,
hindi na-explain bakit.
Parang Pero I think nag-open up na si Zack ngayon. Which is why yung SnyderCon, yung proceeds nun, mapupunta sa AFSP,
Oo.
American Federation for Suicide Prevention.
Alam mo, suicide is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal, really. I mean, like, sa church, it's a big question, man. Where do you go when you commit suicide?
Hmm. Hmm.
Diba? I mean, kasi when we grew up in a Catholic church, alam natin mortal sin yun.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Tsaka you're gonna get stuck in limbo yata or hell, di ba? Pag ganun.
hell actually. Kasi mortal sin. Yun yung naka-stuck sa mindset lalo sa Pilipino
Oo.
in our society. But sometimes I feel na hindi naman siguro papabayaan ng Diyos yung ganun ka-tortured na soul na nag-suicide to kasi
Nasa
if he's not,
Sandman yun. There was a forest of suicides, di ba? Doon na.
di ba? If he's
Nung,
not,
nung
if,
bumaba siya sa hell.
if they're not in control, then anong accountability doon?
Yung dating isang naging shota ni Dream, committed suicide ba? Kaya siya nandun. I can't
Talaga,
remember. Basta she was trapped in hell.
nahirap.
I
Did you ever have suicidal
thoughts.
tendencies?
There was a brief moment, and actually ano nga, it's a dark period in my life, no. Kailan ba yun? More than 10 years ago, I went through financial hardship, and I contemplated it, pero very
Ang ano ko lang, every other country has a high suicide rate, right?
uh,
Yung before, yung Filipino parang happy talaga tayo. No news
yeah,
of
yeah. Hindi, pero for
suicide.
me, just to share, no, I was thinking of it more for financial emancipation. Kumbaga, I had
Mhm.
debts that I felt I couldn't pay. And I was thinking, why don't I arrange my own parang death? And then the insurance money will pay for the
Mhm.
debts. Pero I
Ah,
didn't really seriously entertain it. Kasi parang for me, it felt like such a waste. Na parang, kesa sa ilaban mo, see if you can dig yourself out. And I actually did dig myself out of that parang hellhole.
mhm.
Um, and you know what actually got me seriously out of it? I had a cousin who was also suicidal. Kasi ano sila, depressive yung side ng kanya.
Depressive. Yeah.
As in, clinically depressed and they needed medication. And I think ang nag-trigger nung suicide niya was kakapanganak lang nung parang bunso nila. And parang special child data yung bunso. And
Mhm.
yun parang na ano siya doon, na affect siya doon. And I ended up coaching him through the parang the thought process of suicide, coaching him out of it. Spent hours talking to him.
Mhm.
Um, sabi ko, it's not worth it. Sabi ko, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. And yeah. So, that's where I realized na hindi pala ako. Wala pa pala ako doon sa level na yun. Siya talaga. So, nung medication siya, medyo na-manage. Pero grabe, anong tumawag siya? Sabi niya, uy, pwede ba kitang tawagan? Okay, bakit?
During the pandemic, parang a lot of people thought of doing that, di ba?
O kasi wala, hindi sila makalis sa bahay.
Wala. Uh, Wala tayong option.
Oo.
We were forced to lock up ourselves up. Tapos, good thing yung time na yun was my wife is working in government. So, yung sweldo niya tuloy-tuloy. Okay, di
Yeah.
ba? Yung mga private firms like ang hirap imagine. It's hard to imagine them. Kasi palugi. Talagang lugi. They shot. The effects of the pandemic is still being felt up to this day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Up to now.
I mean,
Even
like
the
how
way,
many people,
alam mo ba yung ano, for example, and I don't want to diminish the movement, but yung mga angry bikers, they actually mostly got their start during the pandemic. Kasi nga,
mhm,
sarado lahat,
mhm,
can bike around, walang kotse. So
mhm,
doon nagkaroon ng ano, doon sila nagkaroon ng reason for
no,
being. And then, syempre, nung natapos yung pandemic, the cars are back. Galit na galit sila na parang na-enroach bigla yung buhay nila. So, yeah.
did you have COVID during that time?
I think I had it once, but I never got diagnosed kasi I just spent parang naka-isolation lang ako. When I think it was either Delta or Omicron.
I think ano, yung sa amin kasi we had COVID last year.
Kaya
Yung
ano ba yung kasabayan ng mga vaccination? Omicron
Omicron,
ba yun? Oh, yeah, I had
Omicron,
Omicron
Omicron.
probably.
I had ano nun. So that was the time ano, Kev gave me a box of IV
Oh,
and I gave it to them. Everyone was taking it.
yeah.
Yung kakilala ko.
Oh.
Which is ano, proven. Kasi yung sa States, ganun din eh. Na mga friends ko, they were taking IV and so, dito lang naman kasi ano, masyadong over
Oh.
uh, debated. Battle ano eh. Di ba?
Yeah, I think for me, even after all is said and done, and I was involved pa nga in mga COVID response no, projects,
Mhm.
I don't parang completely understand what the hell happened. No?
Yeah.
Parang it's this really bad flu and I lost my father.
Yun nga eh.
Pero
Yung
naging
sad sa
parang
news.
naging venue siya for harassment. Yun yung aking ano, parang political and social harassment. Yun yung
Yeah.
pakiramdam.
Yes. I remember the COVID yung when my grand aunt died. So yung namatay siya, yung kapatid ng lola ko, she died along with yung isa niyang sister, brother. Basta dun sa bahay nila, dalawa sila namatay
Oo.
from COVID. I mean like, sabi ko, pero yung isa, tatlo yun eh, nag-survive. So, na ano lang ako, nasad din ako dun eh. Pati yung sa, that was in my mother's side. Tapos yung sa father's side ko naman, COVID din. Sa hospital na, hindi na namin nakita yun. Na
Yeah.
makes me sad talaga during that time.
Yeah, tsaka careers changed during
Yeah,
that.
careers change.
Either your job changed, your company changed, or the nature of your basically your the nature of your career.
Yeah.
Mag
So Doc, speaking of careers, so how was, ano yung case mo ngayon?
with the training provider. Well, alam na
Yes,
ng
yes,
mga tao
training
by now
provider.
no it's ReFocus. Actually, yung history ng ReFocus na yan goes all the way back to 2022.
Mhm.
Before they launched, or actually na-launch na yung course nila, pero wasn't doing very well. And then they approached me online sa LinkedIn. Chika lang, nagchikahan lang kami. Parang, oh, how's the analytics industry? I gave my ideas, my thoughts. Sabi ko, well, dapat ganito yung turo nila. Kasi I was also involved in a nationwide training project, yung Sparta, that was funded by
Ang dami
DOST.
mo project eh. Totoo
Oo.
lang.
Pero yun talaga yung aking passion. I wanted to spread data literacy, basically. So I was telling them, if you're gonna teach analytics, ganito dapat, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Then that was it. No agreement, nothing signed. They even wanted me to appear as a, parang, can we mention you as a consultant? Pero I never agreed to be a teacher or a mentor, nor did I agree for them to use my face.
They assume.
It's funny how they would assume that. Kasi normally, syempre, we're in the era of copyright and intellectual property and
Yeah.
digital data ethics. I don't understand how they could just forget that. Pero yun na nga. Syempre, this is just me. I think they knew what they were doing. Na, si Dominic Ligot, kilala yan sa Pilipinas, kilala yan sa industry, we can use him. Talagang they went all out. And actually, I got to see a pitch deck from, kasi they raise money, Silicon Valley style yan eh. So mga investors, I saw their pitch deck. Their sales started picking up after I met them. So I suspect that was the time they were using me as a
They were
advertisement.
using your name.
Kasi
Yeah.
nga, halos lahat ng na-meet ko, yun ang sabi. Na nung nakita ko yung mukha mo, Doc, kaya ako nag-sign up. So I feel bad for them kasi ngayon, many of them are not getting their money's worth and they can't refund their stuff. Yun pa isa pang shady. Parang they can't refund their cost, the cost in the course. Tapos the way the course is positioned, merong job guarantee, which I find very dodgy. Who can guarantee a job unless si ReFocus mismo yung mag-hire sa'yo? It's impossible.
Unless they do that, walang guarantee.
Yeah. Tapos the way they parang you have a job guarantee or you get your money back. Parang gano'n. Okay? Pero if you read the fine print, parang yes, but you have to prove to us that you've already applied to at least 300 jobs and it's been 6 months since your course and wala pa rin kagat, then we'll refund your work. Sabi ko, that's impossible. It's never gonna happen. Kaya nga every time someone asks me, balak niyo mag-refund, sabi ko, you should try. Kasi I heard it's impossible. I heard it's impossible to refund. And that for me, parang I feel passionate about that. Kasi it destroys the work I've been putting in this space for years, no? Kaya ako nga tinatrabaho yung AAP, pati yung company ko, is I want to transition the Philippines into data-driven, basically the data-driven era. Kaya sa mga Asian, neighbors natin, tayo na lang yata yung babarok-barok pa eh. Kasi
totoo yun. I mean, like,
companies don't innovate. They find it easier to underpay manual labor.
We're too much nostalgic. Eh. I mean,
Hindi lang yun. I think it's just a sick system.
Diba nagpalit tayo ng school calendar from June. Tapos naging siya, bandang September, October. Parang I read something sa Twitter na they want to return to the old ways. I mean, like,
mga
is that
Luddites,
the
no?
way?
Mga Luddites. Yun yung mga galit sa technology, diba?
Hindi naman nila kasi na yung K-12. K-12 was not really that planned and implemented correctly. Diba? Yes. So, Doc, gabi na. Shall we do this again sometime?
Yeah, we should do a follow-up, no?
Yeah,
we barely scratched the surface eh. Dapat, let me know agad so I can prepare. I mean, there's so many things we can talk about.
Pero
talk about
maganda yung
AI,
format,
talk about politics. Yeah, free-flowing is
format
good.
is very good.
Sinabi natin na cover eh. And yun nga, parang, for me, I like to get deep then in terms of the...
We should invite
the philosophy of technology.
Para magulong-magulo.
Guluhin natin.
Let's rock the
rock the boat.
SnyderVerse.
nga eh. I get that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So this was fun for our first endeavor.
First offing. Yeah, sige.
Yes. So na-serve naman yung purpose. So
I think so. Magandang rin siya eh.
We got to know each other more.
It was a good venting. Parang, well, it's not cathartic yet. Hindi pa tayo nag-iiyakan.
Tsaka
pero,
parang nag-brainstorm tayo. So,
yeah. It's nice to go down memory lane din sa mga comics and
yes.
stuff. And then, of course, current events.
Next, we'll talk about, other stuff like movies, culture.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Financial, wag na. Baka habulin tayo ng BI.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's it, Doc, for tonight.
Okay. Sounds
Thank
good.
you. That's good. So
Likewise, likewise. I'll talk to you again
we'll
soon.
we'll do this again. We'll schedule this. So I'll let you know.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
All
Stay
right.
tuned.
Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ingat.